evening, everyone. This is I'm pretty I'm not usually one with mics, but my audio can sound a little shy lately, so wanted to make sure everyone can hear me. Because I'm doing a post that did before, but the audio was going to be great, and whatever. Yeah. Anyway. Topic I'm talking about right now, so the thing you probably can stick with, is subject that I personally myself experienced, and I just wanted to go ahead and share with everyone. You are never too young to go ahead and get your thyroid checked. I'm going to tell you what made me came along and think that way, and what was my signs and medicine. As I go along. Well, as anyone in this world, you don't ever want to grow like you want to grow up healthy. You want to try to do your best, and I'm one myself in the same way. Going with the Latin culture, it's usually hard after you leave high school that you keep your shape, especially being in a heritage class with women or in Latin culture, tends to get a little bit challenging. Right? So, after I gained some weight from having a child once in a while, because after I gained weight after having my first child, the weight was really hard for me to get off, and I didn't like that at all. So it took me many years to try to figure out what was going on. So eventually I met someone, a friend who was one of the trainers for the UFC, and at this time I really got myself self-educated about myself. I became a physical therapist, and I learned a lot about the anatomy, the whole thing, inside and out, all 7 systems, bones, ligaments, skin, joints, everything, even nutrition. So I had the information, so I needed to apply it. So step 1, you need to know what your regular body level type is. What's necessarily works for me is not necessarily going to be working for someone else. So that's step 1. You need to know exactly how much food do you regularly consume, how much do you exercise, or if you don't exercise at all. I'm not gonna lie, I freaking hardly exercise. I don't have time for it, but I still manage to stay in the same size that I've been. Okay, let's say. So once I got some eating with me, then you would make a list of all the things you like to eat. You get me? And notice the one key element that's on your list. For me, it tends to be a lot of carbs. So once I realized that, I cut down on the carbs, like glucose and all that stuff, because tends to be bad for what I find people in my culture. And considering that I myself is hit from 2 lines, I would think it's kind of double whammy. So once I cut that off, didn't even wash myself in 6 months, and never exercised, I'm telling the truth. I went down from a size 16 to a size 8. And that's as I'm currently on now. Okay. And I was able to keep the weight off for about 2 years. And I talked to my friend who was, like I said, when I used to work at, and he was a trainer, so he taught me how to watch my food levels. And so I eat the same foods I want to eat. I don't starve myself. I use much freaking bacon food and meat that I want. Trust me, I love it. You know what I mean? And he showed me what personally fits for me. And by doing that, even though I was able to lose the weight, I dropped from I think it was like 50 pounds in like the first 2 months. It was amazing. And then after I earned my pyramid back, eating my home cooked pyramid food, 2 years later I was able to keep going full entire weight loss. So they used doing the same thing I was doing, eating regularly, watching what I was eating after that. And then suddenly out of nowhere, I started to notice that in my stomach area down here, um, I wasn't. I started to feel like I was getting pudgy. Like every time I would eat something, I would feel kind of like bloated in a sense. Or just kind of like it was like, or got so bad one time that just started asking me about expecting or another kid or anything. I was like, no, it's not like that. So I started to monitor myself again. So I was thinking to myself for 2 years, I kept going after how what's going on now. And like I said, I hardly ever exercise. So as long as I do walk, I do things that I'm very active and I do it. Yeah. So within a month, I started to watch myself, make sure I was eating not too much candy, so that maybe I was just overindulging, not watching myself right. And eating food. Once I found it out, that no, I'm eating the same amount of food that I am. And then I already went to 2 doctor's appointments, and in the 2 doctor's appointments, I jumped weight up and down. Bad. Like, 1 minute I gained 20 pounds, next minute I dropped 16 in 1 minute. It was like a yo-yo. It was really bad. So then I remember a friend I had a long time ago, she said, some similar signs. So I know she goes, you eat the same and you exercise the same, but you might get a little bit more tired. But even out of nowhere, you could see yourself either kind of gaining water or feeling bloated. Then you might want to get your thyroid checked. It's not because you're necessarily getting fat, you get me, or being too thin. It's because your thyroid. You just have to laugh. And what a thyroid is right here, and this muscle line is the thyroid. It's basically your metabolism regulator. This thing into your metabolism right here to let you know if your body needs more, storing more fat, or if it needs to eliminate more fat. So in my case, it was going to make sense. And I was going down my third, it was quite sense. Thinking that it needs to store more than it needs to store. And so then necessarily the case. Right? So I thought about that, beginning, and she said sometimes it's not the doctor's fault. It's just it has so many different regularities, by the system of the pathogen that can usually get this confusion that overlooked and behind the scenes. So just go back. And I'm like, all right. And I remember her telling me that a few years back. So when I started noticing that, and then I started telling her to my doctor, I said, hey, can we go ahead and just get my thyroid checked? And she said, you're way too young to be getting your thyroid checked. I go, I know I can, but there's no way in heck I could just jump from my weight, jump it all back up, and then jump down and be like a yo-yo effect. It's ridiculous. She looked over the chart and she saw the weight was going up like a yo-yo. And she asked me, are you eating the same? I said, nope, I'm doing the same activities as normal. And it's not a plateau. I don't think it is. I think it's just a normal thing. Sure. So you're a little too young, but if it makes you feel better, if you're already doing blood work and other things that's going on too, we'll go ahead and do the blood work for that too. Thank you. I'm happy. So my doctor, she put it in, and so went with the blood work, and she got it back, and when I went back to the appointment, she told me, yes, my dear, you're actually right. It was the thyroid. She was like, that's strange. She said, how'd you know? And I told her. Well, I had a friend of mine who had similar symptoms, and when I used to take care of her, and she told me I was younger, to look out for that. And so I started noticing it and was being honest with myself, and that's when I figured last year. I was that's when I just figured. Now, since the good thing, since we found out my thyroid was messing up and doing a little wacko and wanted to go more than I wanted to do, we found it young. So, you know what I mean? I was like, the earlier the time you find it, the easier it's going to be to correct the problem before it gets too much damage, you know what I mean? Or it's not irreversible. Because in some cases, when the thyroid goes unchecked, you know what I mean? You end up either being way too skinny, like an anorexic, or you blow up like a balloon. You know what I mean? That's the thing, and you can't do anything about it. Your thyroid's just going crazy. And when you find it early though, which is very rare, the biggest because it's unaffected, is you have a chance to correct it. So I've been taking it now for a week, and I think we're both figuring. We make both figure out. But yeah, I was taking it for a week, and but one week that was for here, it's like down. So sum it up. Here's the thing about it. One, you need to know yourself very well. The only person going to know you is you. You know what your limits are, you know what your fitness, and you have to be brutally honest with yourself with what you do. You know, what you take in, what you eat, what you don't eat, everything. Two, you know what I mean? Once you know what you take, you need to be honest about how much nutrition do you, like nutrients do you repulse in your body? How much do you actually don't take, or do you find it just a little overkill? Those are all factors you want to put in. Three, you know what I mean? You need to count how much activity you do. You know, you just keep it in your mind how much you do, right? And if it's the same thing that you've been doing and you've always kept yourself the way that you were, and there's been no changes, you know, it's the same stuff you've always been doing to attain your weight. So it's not food that you're eating, it's not the activity, and you're just eating more or less. Then you might want to go ahead and ask. That's what I did, and I hope that you guys do. Have a great Thanksgiving that's coming up. Happy holidays. Take care, and not be scared of the food that you love. I'm not. I'm gonna be grubbing it all. Trust me. Just, sometimes it's not easy to run. Maybe it's just what I like. But I'm not giving you the food. So it's just great. But you just might want to go and check it out. It helps you out a lot, and I'm glad that I did. You know what I mean? So check it out. Just get a blood test done, and then you'll know. See if it's going up or down or whatever. So there you go. Like I said, and the symptoms to check if you still are doing the same activities, after you know that you're still eating, and when you're eating your food that's still kind of bloated, stuffed, you know what I mean, or decent appetite, no appetite. There's sometimes I was like really hungry, and sometimes I don't even want to eat, you know what I mean? And you notice it's just a little bit goes out of whack. Just when I want to do it, it's a check. That's all. And the sooner you check it, something better for you. Because it might not necessarily mean that because you're getting fat. It's just down the line a little bit crazy. That's all.